Hello everyone, I'm Devika, editor with T5E, and I have with me ISS candidate Abhishek Katre. So let's begin with the first question. Sports courts, fields and stadiums in insti are almost always packed with Inter IIT probables, IITM residents, NSO students and so on. Yet there are several students who are beginners and others who would like to play sports for leisure but do not get to do so because of venue overcrowding. What plans do you have to tackle this?
So you talked with your concern was regarding the facilities in institute that are not available to everyone, like let's say Inter IIT probables, IITM residents and NSO student. So most of the student, the issue is right now is we don't have enough facility in institute. So my plan, one of my manifesto point relate to this thing. I have a hostel cluster point in my manifesto that focus on the developing the hostel facility regarding the sports facility in the hostels. So what will happen? I'll try to develop the hostel facilities in the hostel zones, so that people in the hostels, those are not Inter IIT probables people or not non-Inter IIT people, they can enjoy and play with their friends in the hostel areas. And for the beginners people and for the non-NSO people, we have club weekender and beginner session that is already happening. So we'll continue doing that. And for the institute team, we have a institute centralized facility that will be serving to the institute player specifically. So I feel we can reduce the crowd in that sense because we will be developing hostel facility.
All right. So the SOC is the backbone of sports in insti, yet its structure is constantly changing from year to year. What are your plans for the organization this year, and what verticals do you intend to add and remove, and why?
So yeah, SOC is the backbone of the sports in the institute right now. So my plan is to improvise the web ops team currently, because we don't have an official website for the sports currently. So my plan is to basically add more people in the web ops team and have a proper plans for them. And talking about the other teams, let's say Agrata will be happening this year. So my plan is to have a better PR team and the sponsor team also. So I'll be adding more coordinators in that team. And have a plans that is not decided yet, but a plan to have a change convener positions, because it's too many people in one team, and the events team is not events team core is not responsible of they are not able to handle the whole team structure. So it's too much people in one team. So my plan is to reduce the convenership. And yeah, the plan of this year is organizing more event for the GSB people, because this current ISS focuses on the contingent people. So this time I will focus on the GSB people.
In your manifesto, you mention numerous GSB initiatives that have to be organized by the SOC. How will you ensure that the team has sufficient time to organize them, given that the SOC is composed of sports players who are busy training for Inter IIT during the odd sem and organizing several Schroeter and Dean's Trophy events during the even sem?
Yeah, as I mentioned in my manifesto, there are numerous number of GSB initiative, because I previously told that this current ISS focus on building the contingent. That was also an important part. But in my tenure, I feel I should pass on the legacy, so I am focusing on the GSB people. So my plan for this thing is most of the events I am organizing during the odd semester, not clashing with the Schroeter and Dean's Trophy. So I don't think this will be the issue that overloading will be happen. And majorly the timeline has been decided in such a way that the events will be happening in the weekend period or during the holidays. So I don't think contingent people have to compromise with the practices and practice session. So I think this will be this has been planned properly with the timeline and everything. So I don't feel GSB people, SOC people will be having overloading during their tenure.
Your manifesto point, Passing the Baton, talks about diverting unused institute sports equipment to hostel inventories. What kind of equipment are you referring to here, given that sports teams themselves have an inventory crunch? And why would hostels agree to buy this equipment since they have budgets of their own?
Yeah, so my manifesto point, Passing the Baton, talks about the inventories that is not used by the institute player. I have talked with the respective sports officers regarding this thing. So they said there is a particular criteria for the equipment that has to be played by the institute player. So that is not been played, the equipment that is not been used for the institute team, the inventories will be diverting to the sports hostel secretaries, and they won't be going to buy it, we are going to donate it. We'll be having proper track sheet of the each and every hostel inventories, and we'll be deciding which hostel need the most of the requirements. And specifically, I was talking about I went to football storeroom. There I saw like around 30 to 40 footballs were wastage, and they just need to repair by the puncturing, like repair the puncture and everything. And I have talked with the tennis people also. So there are unused tennis ball that they doesn't set the criteria for the institute tennis player, so that can be diverted to the hostel secretaries. So I feel this is
Okay, moving on to your final question. It has been confirmed that you received a termination warning as a facilities and requirements core under the sports organizing committee for inability to carry out your duties promptly. How do you think this affects your credibility to take on a larger responsibility like ISS, and how will you rectify this situation?
Yeah, so I agree that termination letter was sent to me, and because at that time I was sick and I wasn't able to handle the workload, and I told my other co-member to do that, but due to some reason he also not able to handle that pressure. But I feel after I came back, when I was fit, I tried to cope up with all the pending work, and I tried to do with my Inter IIT practice and everything. I tried to cope up with all the pending works that has been skipped due to my sickness. And with this, I was also the hostel sports secretary. So I feel like I have done the hostel sports secretary part also. Being at the institute team is also a POR, and I also completed the FR Core as a work responsibility that has been given to me. So I feel like this is done. So I feel that I have done enough I have taken enough responsibility to become an ISS.